Hello and welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. I am Lewis Carlan for Bodyslam.net. Joining me today is a very special guest. He is the owner and president of Destiny Wrestling here in Ontario. Very excited to welcome to the show Emilio Albi. Emilio, welcome to the show, man.
Well, hey, thanks for having me, Lewis. I
My
always
ple-
enjoy coming on.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I always enjoy having you, man. So on September 30th, Destiny Wrestling Haywire takes place in Oshawa. Now, normally the events take place in Mississauga, but this one's taking place in Oshawa. Is there a reason for that it's taking place in Oshawa and not Mississauga?
Yeah, actually a good reason. So I'm from Oshawa, and
Okay.
I want to bring something back to where I'm from. A lot of my old high school friends, elementary school friends, that see what I'm doing and ask me lots of questions. They're like, "Man, you got to bring this to Oshawa. Just come, run a show just one time." And lo and behold, my normal spot has a UFC fight night going on that night.
Okay.
And it just worked out that the 30th worked for myself and the guys I'm bringing in. And I said, I'm going to bring it home. I have a lot of family and friends coming, and it's going to be a fun show. It's a stacked card.
Yeah, man, it's a sad card. I mean, on the show you have Simon Gotch, Matthew Rehwoldt reuniting as former WWF team, the Vaudevillians. How much work was involved in getting these two back together? I know they haven't been teaming for about 6 years, but how much work did it take for you to get these two back together?
I would like to tell you it was very strategic on my end, but it really wasn't. I've been talking to Matt quite a bit at different Impact events, and we've been going back and forth, just waiting to see if our schedules will mesh. And lo and behold, we found the day that worked. Simon was also available. They want to do some stuff together as the vaudeville, as a former vaudevillains, and
Yeah.
we put it together quite quickly. It was just a matter of timing. It was just the right time. They made the announcement that they were about to do everything and do a couple, independent shows together. And like again, timing, constant conversation back and forth between me and Matt. And lo and behold, Vaudevillains are showing up in Oshawa fighting for the Destiny Tag Team titles.
That's right, man. That's right, man. Now, initially, the hype was the Vaudevillians were going to be together for the first time in 6 years. But I don't know if you're aware last night, or I'm sorry,
Hog
September
wrestling.
15th. I'm sorry.
Hog wrestling.
Yeah,
Listen,
House of Glory. Does that annoy you at all? Is that you announced it first and you're the hype was for the first time in 6 years they're coming back together and then House of Glory slips in and books them on the 15th.
I want to say yes and no at the same time. Is it annoying that someone else had them together before myself? 100%, because I was the first one to announce it. I was the
Yeah,
first one to put it together, announce the date. So in that aspect, it's like, ugh, I wasn't the first one. But at the same time, it only adds more hype because there's lots of pictures out there. There's social media postings about it. So it gets those excited to still want to see it and see them, and not in Mississauga, but in Oshawa.
that's right. Plus, they have a shot at the Destiny Wrestling, the vacant Destiny Wrestling World Tag Team titles. They'll be taking on Joe Mack and Costa, Pleasure and Pain. We know about the Vaudevillains. Anyone watching right now, they know about the Vaudevillains. What can you tell us about Joe Mack and Costa?
Look out. Two giant, well put together specimens, as I like to say, that are out to make a name for themselves. Costa, the formerly known as Randy Rain, is a Destiny original, and for a long time, he kept on talking to me and saying, "Hey, I want back in. I want back in. I want back in." And I'm like, "Man, right time, right place for everything." Well, right time, right place showed up at Summer Heat for them, and they came in and made a statement against the Newfoundland Nightmare, Justin Newhook.
Mhm.
And lo and behold, here we are in Oshawa. The Destiny Tag titles, the vacant Destiny Tag titles, will be on the line between the Vaudevillains and Pleasure and Pain. Joe Mack, of which, if you catch OVW or you have Netflix, he's on the season of Wrestlers that just recently went
Okay.
up.
Now, most people would think that the Vaudevillains are the favorites to win this match, but I kind of think Mack and Costa would be the favorites. Would you agree with that?
Size wise, power wise, I would give it to Pleasure and Pain. But strategic wise, knowing each other for a long period of time, The Vaudevillians have been together a very, very long time now, although they haven't been in the ring for over 6 years together. Well, with the exception of last night at House of Glory,
Yeah.
they know each other well. They know the ins and outs. So it's only a matter of time. We'll see what happens. But what a lot of people don't know is that Pleasure and Pain actually have been a tag team for a while. They hold the Battle Arts Pro Tag Team Championships.
Okay. Okay, that's a great match. If I was gonna pick, I would love to pick Mac and Costa, but I would have to go with the Vaudevillains. I would have to go with the Vaudevillains to win, but we'll see what happens on the 30th.
It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. They've already been, they're champions in NXT before, so.
All right, we'll see what happens on the 30th. Now, switching gears to Trent Seven, he became the Destiny Wrestling World Champion last month. What does he bring to Destiny as a champion?
Name recognition, and not just in Canada, Ontario, but around the world. I constantly am on the phone with Trent. He's in Spain, he's in Dubai, he's in Ireland, he's in the UK. He's all over. Trent Seven, Mustache Mountain, him, Tyler Bate, and Pete Dunne, they built the UK wrestling scene. That's why there's people like Will Ospreay and Leon Slater and Millie and Danny Luna and Subculture. They're there today because guys paved the way many moons ago to make it happen. They put eyes on the UK scene. So Trent Seven is known around the world, and for us to have him as our champion, as our leader in the locker room, it's a great thing. You know what I mean? It's absolutely great. Someone who's made it to the show is holding our title. Like some of those before him, Josh Alexander, longest reigning Impact champion, held the Destiny title.
Yeah.
PJ Black, formerly known as Justin Gabriel, held the Destiny title. RJ City held the Destiny title. And a lot of people don't know this, but Rey Mysterio Jr. actually at one time was a Destiny World Heavyweight
I was just gonna mention his name. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So the title has a long lineage of professionals, of top name professionals. So just to have him there in the forefront and as the locker room leader, it means a lot for the brand, and as well everyone in the dressing room who gets to see him and ask him questions and stuff like that.
Sure. Well, he's got his first defense coming up at Haywire, and you didn't make it easy for him.
No.
His first defense is against former Destiny champion, Impact Wrestling superstar, former Impact Wrestling World Champion Steve Maclin. This match could be explosive, as I'm sure Maclin wants his belt back. Do you agree that this match is going to be a war? And are you prepared for what might take place between Trent Seven and Steve Maclin?
Will this match be a war? 150%. This match is actually a rematch back a few events ago where Maclin was the champion and Trent was challenging for it. So now that the tables have turned, Steve Maclin went down with the injury. So we had the four-way match at the Summer Heat there to declare the new champion. And Steve Maclin, he got cleared a little bit sooner than what some thought. He was not Trent's original opponent for Oshawa. But lo and behold, as I'm sitting here one day, my phone dings. I look down. All I see is a message. I'm back, I'm cleared, and I'm coming for my title. So I only had one thing to do, and I had to make some changes to make it happen. But, he wants it. Trent agreed to it. So here we have it. Haywire Oshawa, the rematch. Trent Seven putting his title on the line against Steve Maclin.
So you, without mentioning any names, you said that you had another opponent for Trent Seven lined up. Did that person or that talent know that they were going to get a shot, and then they find out that Steve Maclin's getting the shot instead? And if that's the case, were they upset at that?
The person was never told that they were getting a title shot.
Okay.
So
Okay.
They would not know.
Okay.
But like I said, some changes had to be made. And, throughout, we're talking about the title matches. We have Tarek there on the sidelines with that briefcase. He could cash it in at any time. He could cash it in at any time.
He's a great talent there. So he may very well end up being the champion at the end of Haywire.
You just never know what's going to happen.
Never what's going to happen at a Destiny Wrestling event, man. Now you mentioned the big main event, the Fatal 4-Way match last month. Your main events are normally huge matchups that people normally don't get to see anywhere else. The Fatal 4-Way match: Alex Kane versus Big Damo versus Trent Seven versus Lance Archer. Is that the mindset when you're booking main events, to give the fans something they probably won't see anywhere else?
That is one of the things that I try to put out there. I want something that people are going to go, oh wow, that is pretty impressive. Um, don't get me wrong, it isn't cheap to put a card together. It's not cheap to put one of these main events together. But I'm also a fan, and I know there's certain dynamics that I like to see in a match. But I just think, what would the fans really enjoy seeing? You know, will this make the fans want to come out to a Destiny show to see, on top of seeing all the great local indie performers that we have on our show, and our local performers like Gabriel Fuerza, Tarek, Alexia Nicole,
Mhm.
Von Vertigo, and so on and so forth. What's just going to make people go, oh my goodness? And not only oh my goodness, but how is this going to happen? And who's going to win? That's always been my biggest thing. You know, if we think back to the 80s, we always had the term quote unquote jobber when we watched WWE or
Yeah.
WWF at that time. And we kind of already knew what the outcome was going to be. And I don't ever want that to happen at any of my shows. I want people not knowing. I want people to be so invested into the match that they just don't know what's going to happen. And that fatal four-way, that's one of those matches that you just don't know what's going to happen. Trent versus Maclin the first time. Again, another main event. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. So it will keep you on the edge of your seat or standing throughout the whole time.
You did a good impression of me, Ben, because when I read that fatal four-way match, I actually went, "Oh my goodness!" That's exactly what I did. It's like, "Oh my goodness!" You know, because you had the MLW World Champion, you had AEW Lance Archer, you had Damo Trent. That was a terrific match that you put together there. And yeah, so and then now we got Trent Seven, Steve Maclin. You mentioned Alexia Nicole. She's got a huge match coming up against Masha Slamovich. I mean, these matches, all these matches seem to be main events that we're talking about. And that match, I feel, could very well steal the show. Do you agree with that?
I 100% agree. Alexia's just been in a year-long feud with Rajon Husher, and she pretty much ended the feud at Summer Heat when she gave him that final pile driver. Oh, sorry, my little machine over here. As soon as I said the name Alexia,
Okay.
but you know, she put him in his place, and she's ready for more competition. She came to me after her match and said, now that you see what I can do, I want more competition. And as soon as I heard that, I knew I had Masha coming in. I was like, here we go. Okay, you want more
Yeah,
competition? I'm going to give it to you.
that's going to be a hell of a match. I personally feel Alexia Nicole should be signed to a major promotion. Do you agree with that?
I believe there's quite a few people in Ontario that should be signed to major contracts. Like I was lucky when I took over Destiny from George Iceman. Is there were some very well established people here. Alexia Nicole being one, Tarek, Fuerza, Von Vertigo, Aiden Prince. Was some really good talent that was already being used by Destiny. And in meeting with everyone when I took over and having one-on-one meetings with everyone, introducing myself, having them introduce themselves to me, and finding out what their interests are and what their goals are. A few of these guys and gals really stood out to me, and I was like, okay, well, I want to do something with you, and I want to help elevate you any way that I possibly can, and give you the best stage to do it. But Alexia Nicole, should she be signed? 150%, because what she makes up, what she lacks in size, she makes up in talent. She makes up for learning. There's just so many more positives than negatives when it comes to Alexia Nicole. And September 30th in Oshawa at Haywire, she's going to be able to showcase more of her skills against one heck of an opponent in Masha Slamovich.
Absolutely. And this match, is this going to be live on IWTV or is it going to be taped for IWTV?
It will be taped on IWTV. We are going to try something. Unfortunately, it won't be for the Ontario viewers, but we are going to air it live on our YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. That's
So
awesome. So I
it
could
will
watch
only
it live
be
then. I could watch it live then.
You can. It will only be the hard cam, unfortunately. It's something that we're just going to toy with.
Okay.
We are possibly, I don't want to give it away, in 2024, going live on pay-per-view for every single event.
Okay.
We may or may not have our own streaming service by the new year. There's a lot of things that have been in the works over the last few months, and I can't wait to share all the news with everyone in 2024, possibly at our 10-year anniversary show end of February, beginning of March.
Okay. So I guess we're gonna have another interview in a few months down the road then to discuss this then.
It looks like we might have to.
Okay. No, we will, not might. We will. We will. We will. So with the Oshawa event, can we expect Destiny to run shows in other cities around Ontario?
We can. I will tell you this, that Oshawa will become a second home for Destiny Wrestling.
Okay.
Because it's so close to home for me, it's where I grew up. The big companies don't really go and run shows in Oshawa. That's the WWE, AEW, or Impact. So I want to give that WWE, AEW house show effect, but as it being a top production for an independent promotion. I would love to work with other promotions as well across the province. Obviously, there's multiple egos involved. I'm throwing myself in there as well when dealing with other promotions. But we did a great show with Seaway Valley out in Cornwall. Both those gentlemen are absolutely unbelievable to work with, Ryan and Alain. They're actually expanding into Belleville in October as well. So they're going to run in 2 different cities. And I think it's just something to give people, more of an opportunity that don't have transportation and whatnot, but are, passionate wrestling fans, a chance to see a really good show with some really, really good talent brought on the show.
Yeah, I know Al. Al's a good friend of mine. A great individual there, Seaway Valley Wrestling.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a while now with Destiny Wrestling. You've been the owner, president. What's your favorite thing about owning Destiny Wrestling, and what's your least favorite thing about owning Destiny Wrestling? You look very tired, by the way. You look very tired.
I've been up
Okay.
very early this morning.
Okay.
I think the fan interaction, knowing that at the end of the show the fans were hot the whole night. Like at Summer Heat, the fans were not quiet at all. And the talent put on one hell of a show, and the talent feed from the fans, whether they're being cheered, booed, this is awesome chants, or whatever it might be. The crowd was just hot, and the talent really fed off of that. And they put their heart and soul into that show, and it was just fantastic. Like, I haven't even watched the full show from start to finish yet.
Okay.
It's being edited right now, but just the reaction from the fans and hearing them, to me, that is what really makes me happy. As a fan, being able to bring in certain individuals I watched when I was younger, like Devon Dudley, and have him go out in the ring and do something completely unexpected that we didn't talk about. He took the mic, he was in the ring for 10, 15 minutes. We had to scramble backstage to change a little bit of the show timing wise, but he brought a kid in, he talked about his kids, he talked about what we were doing there, how much fun he was having, and everything like that. It's just seeing some of these wrestlers that are larger than life to you when you see them on TV and in WrestleManias and whatnot at your show, interacting with the fans, and the fans just getting so much from it. You can't put a dollar value on that. It's just an unbelievable feeling. But the fan interactions, bar none, when the fans are on and they like what you're doing in the ring and they like the matches, to me, that's the best feeling that you can get.
What about your least favorite part of being a promoter?
Just like in any business, backstage politics. I don't even want to say backstage, but just politics in general. In Canada, flights, our dollar sucks. I'd say that would be some of the things that I dislike, mainly flights. Not a lot of people know this, but at our show in January, New Beginnings, Alan Angel showed up at the arena 15 minutes before his match with Tarek.
Wow.
Because his flight was delayed 5 times.
Wow.
Up until the last show, knock on wood, every morning I would wake up to a message saying my flight's canceled. What do we do? And I'd be sitting there scrambling for a flight. So I think that's the part I dislike the most. Is the travel, the flights. Our Canadian dollar sucks, obviously,
Hmm.
when we're bringing in most talent from the U.S. and our dollar gets beat up. Politics I don't like at all between wrestlers, between independent promotions. I feel if we all work together to better the industry as a whole, everybody wins. Not everyone has the same sentiment that I do. That's fine. You do you and I'll do me type thing. But those are the things I dislike. But the positives outweigh the negatives tenfold. You know what I mean? Absolutely tenfold. Like when I see fans leaving telling me that this was one heck of a show, they enjoyed themselves. When I have people coming for the first time telling me they're coming back and physically seeing them at the next show because they enjoyed themselves so much, again, you just can't beat that feeling at all.
All right, man. So last question. Um, just want to throw this one at you. Kaito Kiyomiya, Pro Wrestling Noah superstar Kaito Kiyomiya. It's going to be in Canada, Border City Wrestling, October 7th, and he's booked for a few shows in the States in October. Could we see Kaito Kiyomiya in Destiny Wrestling? Is that something you may be working on? And if so, can you talk about it?
Um, the only issue with their timing and our timing is our shows. We do not have a show planned until after this show in September. There is nothing Destiny planned until the first weekend of December, unfortunately.
Okay, so no Kaito Kiyomiya then.
So yeah, so timing is off on that one, but I can't give anything away. But let's just
Uh-oh.
say
Come on, give us an exclusive. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
December
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
December 2nd is going to be a good show. It's going to be a lot of fun with who we're trying to get in. But the big show that I would like to say is that the last week of February, the first weekend of March, it's all about when people are available, is going to be Destiny's 10-year anniversary show.
Okay.
And
Wow.
we are going to bring back champions from the past, the present, and hopefully introduce a couple of new faces to the Destiny fan base at that show, as well as have a ton of surprises planned. I'm working on it now because I want to make this the biggest show in Canadian independent professional wrestling history.
Could one of those names be Josh Alexander? Could we see him back? This or you?
I can't say anything.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Um,
I'm
everything
trying, man. I'm trying.
uh, everything for this show will be a little bit of surprise, not as much as Evil Uno's mystery wrestling shows that he does, but there will be a lot of kept secrets for this show. All I can tell the fans that are watching this, that are curious about it, is that I can guarantee you this will blow your socks off with what's planned, and there will be plenty of surprises at the 10th anniversary show.
Okay, man. I fair enough, man. So I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure having you on. Good luck on the 30th. I know Destiny Wrestling is going to just tear the house down. It's at the Children's Arena, right? The Children's Arena in Oshawa.
Correct. It's a
Yeah.
little arena in Oshawa. They don't even put ice down on it anymore. Mainly use it for
Okay.
ball hockey. We're going to
Okay.
section it off, and we're gonna try to make it look like something that you would see on TV.
Well, again, good luck on the 30th, and please come back very, very soon. I'd love to have you on. It's always a pleasure having you on, man. So please come back soon.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me, Lewis.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.